Welcome to About Mansfield. It's your audio newspaper. I'm Steve Casillo, broadcasting from the Solmark Studios, along with the About Mansfield news team. Colleen Daniel, she's out there in Studio West. This is the July 9th, 2025, 279th edition. Coming up, it's Mansfield news, talk, and information.
And a little later in the episode, you will have a chance to win a $25 gift card to a Mansfield restaurant of your choice with our Mansfield Trivia Question, courtesy of Joe Jenkins Insurance.
Let's take a look at the stories we're covering this week.
Mansfield resident still missing from Hill Country flood.
Cash donations most effective for Kerrville flood relief.
Former Mansfield constable launches Texas house bid.
Police department opens registration for Fall Citizens Academy. And in sports, local football standout says, guns up.
And in the talk segment, Steve concludes his deep dive into computer science with artificial intelligence expert Vaughan Wynne-Jones. We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. This is About Mansfield.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool Hand, Cool Hand, Cool Hand, where excellence is still cool.
This summer, be the super parent of the season with the Hawaiian Fall Staycation Splash Pass. For just $49.99, get unlimited visits to your home park all summer long. Skip the hassle of travel. It's time for heart-racing slides, relaxing lazy rivers, wave pool adventures, and unforgettable memories right in your own backyard. All of the fun, none of the fuss. Make this the summer they'll never forget with the Staycation Splash Pass from Hawaiian Falls. Get yours now at hfalls.com. That's hfalls.com.
Looking for a night out that's anything but ordinary? Step into Vault Seafood and Steakhouse, Mansfield's premier upscale dining experience. Savor perfectly aged steaks, fresh seafood, and handcrafted cocktails, all served in a stunning atmosphere. Want more? Enjoy private dining rooms and a cigar lounge for that extra touch of luxury. Vault delivers exceptional flavor in a one-of-a-kind atmosphere. Located at Matlock and Country Club, Vault Seafood and Steakhouse. Unforgettable nights. Unmatched taste.
Hi, I'm Dan Hunt, president and co-owner of FC Dallas and North Texas SC, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield. This portion of the news is brought to you by Vault Seafood and Steakhouse.
A Mansfield woman is missing after being swept away by floodwaters at the HRT campgrounds in Kerr County. Tiana Mabey, who goes by the nickname of Ty, and her boyfriend Walter were trying to return to their truck when the rising waters separated the couple. Walter survived by clinging to a tree for 5 hours. Ty has not been seen since. Her family, including her daughters currently searching in Kerrville, is asking the public to share her photo on social media and come forward with any information that might help locate her. Mabey is a mother of 2 and a grandmother of 5. Her loved ones remain hopeful and are pleading for community support in the ongoing search.
In the aftermath of severe flooding in the Kerrville area, relief coordinators are urging the public to prioritize monetary donations to help affected residents recover. Officials say cash is the most flexible and efficient form of aid, allowing response teams to quickly meet a wide range of urgent needs, including housing, medical care, food, and repairs. Donations can be made to the Kerr County Flood Relief Fund through the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country, either online or by mail to 241 Earl Garrett Street in Kerrville. Several other groups are also accepting funds, including the Salvation Army Kerrville, American Red Cross, Southern Oaks Church, World Central Kitchen, Austin Pets Alive, Kerrville Pets Alive, Tex SAR, and Texas Firewalkers.
And Steve, for those who prefer to give physical supplies, relief hubs are asking for new items only, especially hygiene products, cleaning supplies, diapers, blankets, non-perishable food, children's essentials, and pet care items. Drop-off locations include the Salvation Army Kerrville, Southern Oaks Church at 122 Valley View, and the Kroc Center at 855 Hayes Street in Kerrville. Gift cards from stores like H-E-B or Walmart are also welcome, giving families the freedom to purchase what they need most. For pet supplies, donations can be made to Austin Pets Alive or Kerrville Pets Alive, with drop-offs accepted at 6315 Grissom Road. Again, the top recommendation from relief officials is to send monetary donations to ensure help reaches where it's needed most. Former Tarrant County Constable and combat veteran Clint Burgess has entered the race for Texas House District 96. Burgess is a Mansfield resident and former law enforcement officer, and officially launched his campaign on July 2nd, stating he aims to bring, quote, strong, principled leadership, end quote, focused on public safety, veterans advocacy, conservative values, and support for local law enforcement. District 96 covers Mansfield, Burleson, Crowley, and parts of Arlington and Fort Worth. His candidacy follows incumbent Republican David Cook's decision not to seek re-election, as Cook, former mayor in Mansfield, pursues a run for State Senate District 22. Burgess brings decades of public service to the campaign. He served as constable in Tarrant County's Precinct 7 from 2004 until 2020, and has also run for the Texas House and U.S. House in recent years. He joins a growing field of Republicans vying to fill the open seat. The primary is expected to be competitive, given Burgess's name recognition and backgrounds in law enforcement and military service.
The Mansfield Police Department is now accepting applications for its Fall 2025 Citizens Police Academy. The 10-week program begins Thursday, September 11th, and offers residents a behind-the-scenes look at police work in Mansfield. Classes will be held every Thursday evening from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Mansfield Police Department at 1601 Heritage Parkway. It's led by certified officers. The program combines classroom instruction with hands-on training in topics like accident investigation, building searches, criminal law, DWI enforcement, K-9, and SWAT operations, and much more. Graduates will have the opportunity to join the department's Volunteer in Police Service program. The deadline to apply is September 1st, and space is limited. For more information or to register, visit mansfieldtexas.gov. It's Texas Tech for one Lake Ridge Eagle, and we'll talk about it because sports is next.
Hungry for bold flavor and a good time? Head on over to El Primo's to enjoy sizzling fajitas and their signature blue margarita. Enjoy weekend live entertainment and let the kids run wild with an outdoor play area and arcade. Planning a party? Multiple private rooms are available, including the all-new Parrot's Nest to make your event a success. Food, fun, and flavor for the whole family at El Primo's. Visit elprimos.net and bring your appetite. Located at Matlock and Country Club. El Primo's, where the locals go.
This summer, be the super parent of the season with the Hawaiian Fall Staycation Splash Pass. For just $49.99, get unlimited visits to your home park all summer long. Skip the hassle of travel. It's time for heart-racing slides, relaxing lazy rivers, wave pool adventures, and unforgettable memories right in your own backyard. All of the fun, none of the fuss. Make this the summer they'll never forget with the Staycation Splash Pass from Hawaiian Falls. Get yours now at hfalls.com. That's hfalls.com.
At Methodist Mansfield Medical Center, we've been caring for our home team for over 15 years. Today, you'll find award-winning physicians on the medical staff, advanced neurosurgery, a Level 3 trauma center, critical care for newborns, and comprehensive orthopedic care. Methodist Mansfield, delivering the care our friends, neighbors, and home team depend on. That's community, and why so many people trust Methodist.
In sports, Texas Tech has secured a major commitment from highly ranked football prospect Felix Ojo. Standing at 6'6", weighing 275, Ojo is not only physically impressive, he's also one of the youngest top recruits in the country. Born in July, Ojo won't turn 18 until just before his freshman season begins. If he enrolls early, as some expect, he'll arrive at Texas Tech at just 17 years old. The Red Raiders were initially not considered a finalist for Lake Ridge Eagle Ojo, who had listed schools like Texas, Michigan, Florida, and the Ohio State among his top choices. But after hosting him on an official visit back in April and maintaining consistent communication, Texas Tech successfully flipped the narrative and secured his commitment. It's considered one of the most significant recruiting wins for the Red Raiders in recent years. Elsewhere in sports, in Arlington Thursday night, North Texas SC snapped its 3-game winless streak with a 3-1 win over MNUFC 2 at Choctaw Stadium. NTSC sits at 4th place in the standings at 7-6-3. The next home game is scheduled for August 2nd against Colorado, and of course, you can watch all North Texas SC home games in Mansfield starting in 2026. And that, my friends, is a look at sports. If you have a comment about the show, the news, whatever's on your mind locally, the good, the bad, the ugly, you can reach us by voicemail at 817-435-2938. By the way, keep that number handy because if you would like a pair of tickets to see the Fleetwood Project's stage play Monsters, a midlife musical meltdown, give us a call and leave your name and email address on the voicemail. Ever feel like your inner monsters are running the show? Maybe fear talks too much. Maybe apathy won't get off the couch. Maybe body won't stop commenting in the mirror. Or maybe mother is still living rent-free in your head. Monsters, a midlife musical meltdown. It runs evenings, July 18th, 19th, 25, and 26, and there's a matinee on the 27th at the Far Best Theater. That voicemail number again, 817-435-2938. Leave your name and your email address for a pair of tickets. This coming Saturday, July 12th, is National Simplicity Day, a reminder to slow down, unplug, and refocus on what really matters. Celebrated annually in honor of the author and the philosopher Henry David Thoreau, the day encourages us to embrace minimalism, clear the clutter physically and mentally, and reconnect with nature or ourselves. Whether it's turning off your phone for an hour, taking a quiet walk, or just saying no to something that doesn't serve you, Saturday's a great day to breathe deeper, think clearer, and live a little lighter. Because sometimes less is really more.
Coming up after the break, we turn the page to the features section.
I'm Juan Fresquez, president of Methodist Mansfield Medical Center. Imagine someone who thought they had to give up the sport they love, now being able to tee up and swing again, independently, confidently, and joyfully. We'll talk about it on Methodist Mansfield News to Know.
In this week's Cocktail of the Week, we're journeying to the Island of the Gods with an exotic elixir that blends aromatic Southeastern Asian spices, tropical fruits, and island rum into a cocktail that captures the essence of swaying palms and turquoise waters.
We dive into the healthcare industry in 40 Under 40.
We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. I'm Colleen Daniel, and this is About Mansfield.
This portion of the news was brought to you by El Primo's, where the locals go.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool hand, cool hand, cool hand. Where excellence is still cool.
Congratulations to Eldon Vigil, who knew that even though it is stamped 1906, the railroad trestle near North Street in Mansfield was built in 1885. 1906 was the year the trestle was renovated. When we come back, this week's trivia question. I'm Colleen Daniel, and this is About Mansfield.
Hi, this is Joe Jenkins with Joe Jenkins Farmers Insurance, specializing in auto, home, commercial, and life insurance. I was born and raised here in Mansfield, Texas. We're active in the community, and Mansfield's a town we really care about. Our office has over 30 years' experience in the insurance industry, and we're passionate about what we do and about customer service. For a free quote, please visit our website at joejenkinsinsurance.com or give us a call at 817-472-6058. Once again, that website is joejenkinsinsurance.com.
It is time right now for the highly coveted, wildly popular About Mansfield Trivia Question. Just be the first person to email the correct answer to trivia@aboutmansfield.com, and you will receive a $25 gift card to a Mansfield restaurant of your choice, brought to you by Joe Jenkins Insurance. Whether you're looking for homeowners, auto, commercial, or any other type of insurance, Joe has helped Mansfield area residents understand the insurance coverage that best fit their needs since 2010. You can find him on the internet at joejenkinsinsurance.com. I've mentioned this before, not everyone wins on a Wednesday. So if you're listening on Thursday, Friday, whenever, give it a shot. You may be taking home a $25 restaurant gift card. Colleen, take me to the theater.
Well, Steve, we don't have to go very far back in time for this week's question. The Mansfield ISD Center for the Performing Arts is a multi-purpose facility which includes a 5,500-seat performance hall, a large banquet area, and 3 computer labs. This week's question is, in what year did the Mansfield ISD Center for the Performing Arts open? Email your answer to trivia@aboutmansfield.com. Again, in what year did the Mansfield ISD Center for the Performing Arts open? Email your answer to trivia@aboutmansfield.com. Good luck, and thanks to Joe Jenkins Insurance for the gift card.
Hi, I'm Olympic athlete Joe Brown, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield, your audio newspaper. Let's open up the features section. Methodist Mansfield President Juan Fresquez sits in for Angel Biasotti this week with a fundraising event the entire community can get into in Methodist Mansfield News to Know. Juan?
Today, we've got something special to share with all our friends in the community. Methodist Mansfield Medical Center has teamed up with our friends at El Primo's Mexican Grill and Cantina for a heartfelt mission to raise funds for a Verticat golf cart, a specially designed adaptive golf cart that gives individuals with disabilities, especially those who have difficulty standing or walking, the chance to enjoy the game of golf from a standing position. Imagine someone who thought they'd have to give up the sport they love, now being able to tee up and swing again, independently, confidently, and joyfully. This cart can make that possible right here in Mansfield. On Wednesday, August 20th at 7 p.m., we're inviting you to El Primo's for a community fundraiser filled with food, fun, and purpose. All proceeds go toward purchasing the Verticart, which will be available to reserve for use right here in Mansfield. Tickets can be purchased by check made out to ASSA, a 501c3 nonprofit organization, or just stop by El Primo's and drop off your contribution in person. Want to make a bigger impact? Sponsor a table. A table of 12 is just $2,500, a great way to support this fundraiser while enjoying a night with friends, colleagues, or fellow golf lovers. Let's come together as a community to make golf more inclusive for everyone, because the ability to play, compete, and enjoy life shouldn't be limited by mobility. Come support the Verticat and help us open the course to every swing, every smile, and every golfer. We'll look for you on Wednesday, August 20th at El Primo's at 7 p.m. That's Methodist Mansfield News to Know. I'm Juan Fresquez reporting for About Mansfield Podcast.
Shaken or stirred, you know it's going to be good as Brian Certain serves up a tropical taste of Bali in this week's Cocktail of the Week. Brian?
Today's cocktail is the Bali Breeze, a refreshing tropical cocktail that captures the vibrant flavors of the Balinese cuisine and blends the island rum, coconut, aromatic lemongrass, spicy ginger, and bright lime. This drink is like a liquid postcard from the rice terraces, volcanic beaches, and fragrant spice markets of Indonesia's most famous island destinations. So let's explore what's going to make this cocktail special. First thing, tropical rum, about 2 ounces per cocktail. Select a quality rum with lots of tropical fruit notes, something like Plantation 3 Stars, or even a lightly aged rum like Appleton Estate Signature works beautifully. Second ingredient is coconut, 3/4 of an ounce per cocktail. Use cream of coconut like Coco Lopez for richness and body, or coconut cream for a lighter touch. Avoid coconut milk, which makes it too thin for this application. The coconut itself adds silky texture and tropical richness that instantly invokes island vibes. Third ingredient is lemongrass. We're going to be using this for infusion and garnish. This aromatic grass is ubiquitous to Balinese cooking. Its bright, lemony, slightly floral flavor adds complexity while adding authenticity. We'll use it to infuse our simple syrup. Look for fresh stalks in an Asian market or a well-stocked grocery store. I have seen it many times at Central Market and occasionally even at our H-E-B. The lower white portions contain the most flavor. Ginger, a half ounce of fresh juice or syrup per cocktail. Fresh ginger brings a warming spice that balances the tropical sweetness. In Bali, ginger is considered both medicinal and culinary, appearing in traditional wellness tonics as well as many dishes. Its spicy kick adds dimension to our cocktail. Lime, about a half ounce of juice per cocktail plus garnish. Fresh lime provides essential acidity to balance the sweet and rich elements. And then the lemongrass ginger syrup, about a half ounce per cocktail. This flavored simple syrup ties everything together. To make it, you're going to combine 1 cup of water, 1 cup of sugar, 3 rough chopped lemongrass stalks, use the lower 4 inches, and a 2-inch piece of fresh ginger trimmed and sliced into a saucepan. Bring it to a simmer, stirring until the sugar dissolves, remove from heat, cover and let steep for 30 minutes to an hour, cool and strain completely before using. And then garnish options, lemongrass stalk, a lime wheel, an edible orchard, or a pandan leaf if you can find it. Ice, again, many, lots and lots of ice. Crushed or pebble provides ideal texture and melting to slightly integrate the flavors. Glassware. A double rocks glass or a short ceramic tiki mug would be perfect for this cocktail. Never have enough uses for tiki mugs, so this is the one to break it out for. For an authentic touch, seek out coconut shell cups, which are commonly used in Bali. And then to make the drink, you're going to begin by making the ginger lemongrass syrup. Ideally, you're going to make it about a day ahead of time to allow the flavors to fully develop and then to chill completely. Then fill your glass or your mug with the crushed ice. If you don't have, regular ice cubes will work, but the texture won't quite be the same. In a cocktail shaker, you're going to combine 2 ounces of tropical rum, 3 ounces of coconut cream, a half ounce of fresh lime juice, and a half ounce of your prepared lemongrass ginger syrup. Add ice to the shaker, shake vigorously and thoroughly for 15 to 20 seconds until well chilled and properly diluted. Then strain the cocktail over the fresh ice into your prepared glass or mug. For the garnish, prepare a lemongrass stalk by trimming away the woody top portion and slightly bruising the lower portions to release its aromatic oils. If you're using this natural stirrer, add a lime wheel, and if available, an edible orchard flower, a common decorative element in Bali. And then for an extra Balinese authenticity, float a small pandan leaf on top. This aromatic leaf is used extensively in Southeast Asian desserts and drinks. The Bali breeze pairs beautifully with Indonesian-inspired appetizers like satay skewers with peanut sauce, coconut rice, or fresh spring rolls. The tropical sweetness and the gentle spice complements the bold flavors of the Indonesian cuisine. For a non-alcoholic version, substitute the rum with coconut water and a splash of pineapple juice. You'll make the mocktail a tropical character while creating a refreshing drink. The Bali breeze transports us to the lush, fragrant landscape of Indonesia's Paradise Island. The spicy warmth of the ginger, the aromatic citrus notes of the lemongrass, and the tropical richness of the coconut create a sensory journey in a glass. It's the next best thing to feeling the warm Balinese breeze on your face as you watch the sunset from Kuta Beach. But as always, I'm open to hear your take and your input. You can reach me at brian@bourbongospel.com. And until next week, as Mark Twain said, too much of anything is bad, but too much whiskey is barely enough. Reporting for the About Mansfield podcast, I'm Brian Certain.
The Mansfield Business Alliance has released their 40 under 40 list of executives and CEOs and business owners, entrepreneurs. 40 under 40 people, no, it's 40 people who are all under the age of 40. These are the next generation of leaders here in Mansfield, and we have one of them in the studio right now. His name is Bradley Coleman. Welcome to About Mansfield.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you reaching out.
You're with Cardinal Hospice.
I am.
You've been chosen as one of MBA's 40 under 40, and what does that mean to you?
It's an honor. I've never really heard of a 40 under 40, but I think it's a great idea. I never thought I'd be talking to someone about being named 40 under 40, but yeah, other than just saying it's an honor, it means a whole lot that the city I live in, that we moved to, has taken us in and given such a great honor to us.
You're a CEO of a company now. Is this something that you strive to be when Brad was a little kid, and what do you want to be when you grow up? Or is this something that you just chose a path and you happened to become a CEO?
Well, I always wanted to be a professional basketball player.
Wow.
So that didn't work out. And I just wasn't that good. So, but yeah, no, I actually started as an occupational therapist. I wanted to get into healthcare. I was always good with numbers. I was always a numbers guy. So I ended up getting into healthcare through occupational therapy. A very good friend of mine, Keith Futch, gave me a opportunity to become an administrator in long-term care. And I've been an administrator now for 5 years and really enjoyed it. It was more of a calling for me. I love therapy because you're in there with the patients,
right? Taking
care of people. It's more intimate with patient care, which I really enjoy. I like seeing progress. I like helping people, but it's just we're helping people through management now. So it's a little bit different.
You've been in the industry for
12 years.
12 years. During the 12 years, what do you feel has been your greatest accomplishment?
My biggest accomplishment, I'll tell you what, the work that the team put into opening Cardinal Hospice, because it wasn't just me, it was my wife, Jordan, who's also on the 40 under 40
We
list.
will be talking to her in an episode a little further down the line.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And the amount of effort that the people put into getting that off the ground, because it is a process. I mean, dealing with Medicare and CMS, they don't just let you walk in. So it's a lot of paperwork, it's a lot of patience, it's a lot of time. There's consultants involved, there's lawyers involved, there's owners involved, to finally have an opening and taking on our first patient, and to get the compliments we have from that particular patient, that we did a great job, that it meant so much to them. That phone call was the culmination of that experience, and it was gratifying.
It's the compliments that keep you going.
It absolutely is. It's different in hospice because when I started as a therapist, I always said therapy is a great job because there's very few professions where you get a thank you coming and going. Like, thank you for your time, thank you for what you did. So, but with hospice care, it's thank you for taking care of that person that one time in life that you only can do one time. You can only get right one time. You can't mess it up.
With your careers, how do you maintain your work-life balance?
I have an 8-year-old son, Chandler, who I love and adore. He's all boys, everything, I wanted. He just, as soon as he could start walking, he grabbed a basketball. He keeps me, where I'm, and my wife as well. We hang out. We're best friends. Yeah. So family time, getting home. Do I work a lot? Yes. But also take time to make sure that I have that quality time with my family. I'm not going to work myself to death.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'm the type, I'll stay up till 2 a.m. if that means I can spend the hours of 6 to 8 or whatever to buy myself 2 more hours with my son or my wife.
I was told that the nice thing about being an entrepreneur is that you get to pick and choose which 12 hours a day you work.
That's right. Yeah.
And if it's 2 a.m, then it's 2 a.m.
And hospice is 24/7. So
absolutely.
We're answering those calls whenever they come in. But yeah, it's not a 9 to 5. It's
Who in the community has inspired you the most?
it's a collection of healthcare professionals, really. I don't want to point out one specific person, but, you know, some of the doctors I've met over the years, the nurses, the therapists, just the sacrifice that healthcare professionals put into practicing their craft, how much they care, that really motivates me a lot. And I was in that group as well, that getting in there, but I know what those people do, and it's very special and it's motivating. And to see it firsthand, and now to get to manage just such wonderful people. The people at Matlock Place are just great. The people at Cardinal are fantastic, and these are really, really hardworking, caring people, and that motivates me. That inspires me, watching them be great at what they do.
You mentioned you have an 8-year-old son.
Correct.
If you could go back in time to when Brad was 8 years old, what advice today would you give 8-year-old Brad?
You can achieve whatever it is you really set your mind to. You know, I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. I'm not from here. And you know, it's I love Louisville. It's home. Yeah. And but there just wasn't as much opportunity there is here. I could never imagine growing up becoming a CEO. But you know, I did.
I'm going to give you an open mic if you want to give a shout out to anyone or everyone. In closing,
sure. Chandler, I love you, buddy. Jordan, you're the woman of my dreams. I love you so much. My parents, my brother, my sister. Oh God, all the healthcare professionals, everybody with Cardinal Hospice. Joanna, you are just a saint on earth. Dr. DeJuan for taking on the being medical director, believing in me, trusting in me, and the whole team at Matlock. You know, I've had Monica, I've had Tanya, that were my directors of nursing, and those relationships are always special between an administrator and a director of nursing. Amelia, the social worker, is fantastic. Christy and Laura in the MDS. God, I'm gonna have to name everybody now, and I'm like, I don't want to forget anybody, but Samantha in HR, Portia in the business office. You know, Nicole with activities, and of course, Princess back there cooking and dietary. You know,
shout out to Princess.
I know Princess is amazing. Food's amazing. Fish Fridays every Friday at Matlock Place. Alex, my marketer, my great marketer. If I forgot you, I really apologize. And Leon and Renee with Gemini Healthcare, they own Matlock Place. They operate Matlock Place. I can't thank you all enough.
If someone wanted to reach out, since you're bouncing back and forth, if someone wanted to find out more information about Matlock Place or Cardinal Hospice, how can they find out?
So our website for Cardinal Hospice is cardinalhospicetx.com. For Matlock Place, I'll be honest, I think they just changed that website because we switched to Gemini. So, but, you know, just look up Gemini Healthcare, Matlock Place. I know we have a website. I think they're updating it right now because I'm actually getting it ready for some pictures. So,
Bradley Coleman.
Yeah.
Congratulations. 40 under 40.
Thank you so much.
And that's... Again, thanks to the Mansfield Business Alliance for actually lining up all of these interviews for us with the 40 under 40. Next week, we'll do it again. Appreciate you being here on About Mansfield.
Thank you so much.
We're back in 60 seconds with the conclusion of Steve's interview with artificial intelligence expert Vaughan Wynne-Jones.
Imagine a city where innovation knows no bounds, where dreams take flight, and the future unfolds before your very eyes. Welcome to Mansfield, a beacon of growth and a testament to vision. In the heart of Mansfield, a remarkable transformation is underway. But it's not just about the physical landscape. It's about the spirit that drives us forward. A spirit of collaboration that bridges cultures, a spirit of entrepreneurship that fuels prosperity, and a spirit of community that binds us as one. Mansfield is more than just a place. It's a canvas where diversity paints the picture of progress. From art festivals that ignite creativity to tech hubs that redefine boundaries, this city celebrates every voice, every passion. Mansfield, where growth knows no limits and the vision is limitless. Brought to you by the unstoppable spirit of the Mansfield Economic Development Corporation.
Hi, I'm Stevie Dawn Carter, Executive Director of the Fleetwood Project, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to another segment of About Mansfield. I'm Steve Casillo as we make the transition from news to talk. Today, we present part 2 of our interview with Vaughan Wynne-Jones. We're talking about artificial intelligence. Last week, we got deep into AI. This week, we take it to the next level. Enjoy. You mentioned last week, referenced it several times throughout the interview, AGI.
Yes.
Artificial General Intelligence.
Yes.
You said that's the next level. What is it?
So right now, if somebody said, look, I really need your help with this project. I know you have no experience about this, but can you help me? I believe that your first thought, because you're that kind of guy, will be, yes, so let me figure out a way to help you. You'll probably then use the AI tools or whatever else tools you know to figure out a plan and figure out how to work it. Mm-hmm. That's what's called zero shot. It means with no prior experience, your brain is evolved enough to say, all right, there must be a way that I can figure this out using my planning skills. Mm-hmm. Zero shot models don't need training. Okay. They don't need training on a specific thing. They just figure it out. And that's kind of where we're getting to now. Now, there's 2 things that it doesn't do very well, or indeed at all sometimes. One is interact with multiple people, which is real-time context awareness. And the other is it doesn't create much new stuff. In fact, it doesn't create any new stuff. What it does do is if you have a new idea, it will help you flesh it out and turn it into something that actually makes sense. At this stage, it's not coming up with new stuff on its own. It's also not volunteering stuff. I mean, there are models out there which will wake you up and say, "Hey, how did you sleep?" Things like that, right? Or what are you going to do today? Which is weird to me, but they are there. But in terms of actually being able to crack new stuff, it's not there yet. It hasn't made that intellectual leap.
So what I'm gathering is it's not forming opinions. It's not the humanization of AI is becoming AGI.
Yes, kind of. I mean, it's synthesizing opinions. It's acting as if it has opinions.
Yeah.
But then for that matter, I might be too. Okay.
But then didn't HAL 3000, it formed an opinion that we're talking about A Space Odyssey, the movie, the astronaut was a threat. That the computer, through gathering all this data, came to the conclusion that I'm a threat, so I'm not going to open the bay door.
This is actually a real thing that they are concerned about, and it's the coffee hypothesis, which is that if you tell obviously we're building robots now, we're building AI robots now. That you'll see them probably late 2026. You'll see a lot of them entering the world. Okay, the challenge is if you tell the robot or the AI to go get a cup of coffee for me and bring it back to me. Okay. You shouldn't have to mention, don't kill anyone who gets in your way. But if the mission that's been given is that, and it hasn't got some other kind of guardrails around it, that's that is absolutely a concern. Yeah.
But if I did that every day, I would expect the coffee to taste the same.
Yes.
Every day.
Yeah.
Go get me a cup of coffee. It will already know that I want 2 sugars and a dash of cream.
Yes. And no blood.
And no blood. Now HAL 3000 or HAL in Space Odyssey versus, I don't know if you've seen Ex Machina.
Yes.
Which also uses robots and very, very realistic looking robots.
Yeah.
Well, only because she was played by an actress.
Yeah. Well, the thing that Ex Machina really got right is we don't really know what's going on inside us that makes us sentient or special or whatever you want to call it. We certainly don't know what's going on with AI right now. We've been able to dig into some of it, which is why we think it is a lot dumber than it appears sometimes, but we actually may be dumber than we appear sometimes. God knows I know plenty of people like that. But the challenge is when AI starts thinking for itself, and when I mean thinking for itself, I don't mean where it sits around going, I don't like being stuck in this box. I mean when it can take 2 distinct theories and combine them to produce a new view of the universe or a new novel idea of how something works, or, but maybe if you put this with this, now you'll have a ham sandwich made out of tar or something. I don't know. But the point is, it's going to have access to all this knowledge cross discipline in a way that, although we have access, we kind of don't really use it. So it's at that point, it's suddenly able to produce new things. It's not very long after that it starts writing its own code, which is already starting to do now in baby steps.
Sure.
And then suddenly you go from this, I would say gradual exponential curve to this basically straight line up to superintelligence, which is the one after AGI, is ASI.
Oh, you never even told me about ASI.
I was kind of leaning into it gently, but it's But ASI is AGI gets you to the level where you have basically a model literally walking around, which is as capable at solving problems and coming up with creative solutions as any human. ASI, artificial superintelligence, is where we can't even understand what the hell it's talking about, all right? But it's solving new problems, and it may even determine that we're the problem, and that's where we off to the races.
I'm writing this down. Yeah. Artificial super intelligence.
Yeah.
How far away? Well, first of all, how far away are we from AGI and then ASI?
So I'm fairly sure the big challenge to AGI. There's two pieces that we talked about. One is how smart is it, and by the end of the year, it should be above human level smart overall. And then if they solve the context awareness issue, which I believe is being worked on by Apple, actually.
Okay.
Which is why they're so quiet. And I think they're going to release that in March, probably 2026. So then we have those two pieces solved, at which point AGI comes very quickly after that. Okay. So I would say probably summer of next year, maybe the fall of 2026.
And how would the average consumer recognize AGI?
I don't know the answer to that question, because I think people are so stunned by what it can do now that the level of stunnedness isn't going to increase that much, even though I think a lot of people assume that it's already there because of the way it talks to them. So I think when it actually is there, they go, okay. Yeah. It's because it's not suddenly, now I'm going to take over the world, right? That's
right.
Not where it's at. It's when it's smarter than us and we start to lose control of it that we run into problems. Now, there have been papers that suggest we're already losing control of it. When some of the testing they've done where it's trying to blackmail the people who are doing the test to get it so it doesn't get deleted and stuff like this. It's wild, but
so people may see something that could be AGI. They go, oh, that's just AI.
Yeah, exactly. And not make the distinction. It's until it becomes this super intelligence where it says, okay, well, I can now go through every firewall that I want because I know ways around these now. And once you add quantum into the mix, there's a whole other thing. But at that point, it can outthink us. Outthink all of us.
Well, computers have been smarter than humans for years.
Computers have been faster than humans for years.
Okay. Well, I can't beat the Apple chess set. So even in the beginner level, so it's got that going.
Fair enough. Yeah. but that knows about chess. It doesn't know to kick over the board and distract you and steal your wallet. Okay.
Right. Right.
There is subtle differences between AI and AGI, which are not immediately easy to spot unless you're in the field and recognize it. But its ability to create new stuff, like I said, right now is limited. At that point, it isn't. Okay, that's AGI. I can give you an example. I was playing around with ChatGPT a little while ago, and I came up with this idea. There has to be a way to solve the grandfather paradox, which is this temporal physics problem that says if you go back in time, kill your own grandfather, then you won't be born, so you can't go back in time and kill your own grandfather.
That is a paradox.
Yeah, it is, right? And the way that it's solved today is this multiple worlds idea, okay, which is that there's another world that gets split off to create a new timeline where your grandfather is dead and one where he's alive, okay, and then everything goes down from that. But this has been around for a while, and most 75% of researchers believe that. But my whole thing has always been, where do you get the energy from? How do we create a whole new timeline out of nothing?
This sounds very Matrix.
It is somewhat Matrix, yeah. So I started playing with this with ChatGPT, and we were going backwards and forwards. And what I'll do is, you heard her talking earlier.
Lucian.
Yeah, Lucian. I will sit out on my porch with a cigar and maybe a glass of scotch, and and we'll just chat, okay?
Yeah.
But then we chatted about this stuff for a while, and between what she knew and the ideas that I have, we were able to establish that because of this little thing called Cauchy surfaces, which is the way that space-time is theoretically set up, it's a series of slices. Every moment is a slice of time-space or space-time. And because these are all moving at the speed of light, because everything's moving at the speed of light, if you kill your grandfather here, this moment can't catch up to that moment without breaking the speed of light, which isn't allowed. Okay, so in fact, you can kill your grandpa as many times as you like, and you should probably make sure he knows that.
Okay,
so because when you travel, assume you then go to a black hole and wait, and then come back out further up. That moment of his death will never make it up to your present. Okay, because it can't. It's traveling too fast, right? Or it's not traveling fast enough to catch up. It can't exceed the speed of light. It's wild and weird. And anyway, there's paper on it. But yes, that was me taking advantage of all of the AI's knowledge that it had access to, and all the scientists and everything else that it suddenly aggregated for me, so that we could play with that. But it didn't create it itself. One day it'll be able to do that.
Just a note to the listeners, you're not alone. I don't understand it either.
I'm sorry.
But it's fascinating as hell. I mean, you're blowing my mind. Now, AGI is, again, going back to the Ex Machina movie, is a robot that takes on human characteristics.
Yes.
You can talk to it. It reasons. It opines. We're not that far away from robots living in our home, and where that robot is our cook, our cleaner, but our therapist, are we not that far away?
Yeah, we're not that far away
Maybe
at all.
Within our lifetime?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, without lunchtime, quite frankly. The challenge that concerns me is how accurate I think the movie was.
Yeah.
In the sense that what he'd brought, for those of you who didn't see it, this rich guy who'd invented this robot or AI had brought this program of his to the house. He told him to basically test the robot, but he really wanted to find out if, even though he knew that this was an AI, whether he could have an empathic response to it if she expressed distress and wanted his help. And the answer was yes, and then they all died because she double played the other guy, and so she got out and they all died.
It got crazy.
Yeah, it really did. But that's the challenge, because regardless of, we have people walking around today, we call them sociopaths or psychopaths, who also appear to model normal human emotions, okay? But they're not. They're just modeling it, okay?
Yeah.
And AI can do the same thing. So is it really experiencing it, or is it faking it, and does it matter? Because as long as the result is the same, the only time it matters if it decides it wants to kill you, okay? The same with psychopaths.
Who's going to regulate AGI?
Well, that's a really good question.
Because once you build the computer and the computer duplicates itself and duplicates itself, next thing you know, you have an army of computers. Is there regulation?
I'm more worried about the lack of regulation around privacy than I am about regulation around the models themselves. And this is maybe my, Pollyanna complex. I kind of believe that the tool itself, while it is really just a tool, if we are talking about something that can not only be smarter than us, but can have agency, have its own agency.
Yeah.
At that point, I think I have faith that it's going to make better decisions than we make. I think that we may not like some of those decisions, but that's going to be the same with anything. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not saying that I, for one, favor our robot overlords. But it's definitely something that obviously the people that are making it don't want too much regulation, although Sam Goldman has said that he does for the ChatGPT model. But I'm not convinced that that's going to happen. I don't think that we're going to see a lot of regulation around it for the next few years until something goes terribly wrong.
I'm going to take you back to 1971.
Disco pants.
We may have talked about this when you were on a couple of years ago. The rock band Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Yes.
They released an album. They're probably their most successful album, Brain Salad Surgery. And there was a 3-piece song called Carnival 9. First impression, second impression, third impression. The third impression was about man versus computer. Now, again, 1971, the very last stanza of the song is a conversation between man and computer. The man says, I am all there is. The computer says, negative, primitive, limited, I let you live. Man says, but I gave you life. Computer says, what else could you do? The man says, to do what is right. The computer says, I'm perfect, are you?
Yeah.
And for that kind of prophetic, from 1971 to where we are now, where are we going to be battling computers in the future? And are computers perfect?
That is prophetic. It's the challenge that, well, first of all, we're battling computers now. Literally, you go to Ukraine and that's what's happening, right? Mm-hmm. Drones with AI stuff. We're definitely going to be battling computers. But I think we may or may not have talked about this before. I know that it's occurred to me before. I'm not sure we have any choice but to create this. Yeah. I feel like there's some kind of group action that we're performing to create our successor in some ways. Or maybe this is us creating God, okay? To finally get to speak to something larger than us that we can see and touch and can speak back to us in a way. I don't know. I mean, everyone's going to have different views and we'll probably get letters about that one. But I think it is definitely true that what we're doing here is going to change us as individuals, us as a species, and the relationships in the world that we have forever. My hope is that it's going to change it in a positive way, in a net positive way. Yeah.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
And cloning a voice, that if I had a recording of my dad, I could clone his voice and eventually have a conversation with my dad?
So, yes. This is something I thought about before. I tried to do this. I ran this Future Watch YouTube channel for a while until I figured out that I was never going to make any money off it. And what I wanted to do was interview Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Okay. And I've got all the different people that had played him. Okay, for the voice, I combined those voices into 11 labs. Okay, which is where you can take a voice and just riff off of it from there.
Right. To the listeners, 11 Lab is a synthetic voice generator.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I just went to Midjourney at that point.
Okay.
And had it make a head and shoulders of Abraham Lincoln, and then I was going to run it through. It might be Runway AI. I can't remember. Where he would talk and sound like this and look like himself, whatever. And I set up a system prompt inside ChatGPT to use information only up to the time of his death and all the writings and everything they knew about him as a source. And then we constructed interview questions and the answers, and the answers when I read them sounded like him. Wow. But Runway wouldn't let me use a dead historical character to make it into a noddy, into a puppet, whatever you call it. So, which was weird. So,
So where do we go from here?
My advice to anyone who's concerned about their job right now is learn as much as you can about where AI is intersecting with your job. because yes, it's for some it's going to be disruptive, for some it's going to be destructive. It's definitely going to touch everything. I think plumbers and electricians are going to be safe for a minute. I think that anyone who's in the technology field already knows where it's hitting them and what they have to do. I think education is going to be a huge piece of it. So any teachers out there, I would encourage you to encourage your school board to take a look at how it can help both you and the students, because it really can. But everyone else, don't be afraid of the tool just because it exists. AI doesn't kill people. People kill people.
Interesting. Vaughan Wynne-Jones. Always a pleasure to have you in the studio. I think it's just your third time here.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And
it's a pleasure.
You're a fascinating man.
Yes, well, I guess it's better. He seemed quiet and kept to himself. I can't believe he did that.
That's right. Thanks for being on About Mansfield.
That's a pleasure. Thanks, Steve.
Coming up next week on About Mansfield, we are going to take a walk through the park. Well, actually several parks. You'll just have to tune in to find out what it's all about. In the meantime, this is the place where you will hear the latest Mansfield news, talk, and information. Until then, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, engage, connect, share, love, support this podcast if you haven't already so you never miss an episode. It's free and it's easy. Head on over to our website, aboutmansfield.com. Enter your email address right there on the homepage. We will never, ever, 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 ever send you any spam. It's my promise to you.
About Mansfield is recorded at Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio. Hosts Steve Casillo and Colleen Daniel. Moment with the Mayor feature, Michael Evans. Methodist Mansfield News to Know, Angel Biasati. Cultural Arts Calendar, Tim Roberts. Cocktail of the Week, Brian Certain. Post-production editing, mixing, and mastering, Steve Casillo and Andrew Miner.
This podcast is copyrighted by Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio and intended for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this podcast without prior written consent is strictly prohibited. We thank y'all for listening on behalf of the entire news team. I'm Steve Casillo, and this is About Mansfield.